World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic afternoon where your host, your dressed down CEO, Tyrone Glover, is coming to you live from Yonkers, New York. And I want to thank you for making time. Everybody, please use that hashtag. Please help us get the word out that everybody should be making times in these times in which things are going completely haywire and kind of bonkers right now. But nevertheless, my name is Tyrone Glover. As I just indicated, I am your dressed down host of Leverage Credit Recovery. And I want to thank you for making that time. What we're going to be talking about today is helping you navigate these spaces, these places of where, of where things might be a little bit out of control when it comes to that financial understanding. Getting a great let's focus on that. Getting a great idea of what we should be doing as we're now witnessing some of these disturbing trends that are happening with this new administration. But as I say all the time, this is not a political show, but it's all intertwined. And when we can talk about it in that manner, it's easier for us to maneuver in a more of a strategic understanding. But Leverage Your Score is here, and it's always going to be about helping you with managing your credit management. Making sure that you understand the ups, the downs, the ebbs and flows that come with a lot of life. Life is going to life. And no matter what we do, you are responsible for how you manage your finances. And if you can do what we're asking you to do, again, all of the information that I give you is plethora, so big, so much. But all I want you to focus on is that right there. The little. Going back to the basics, things that we have not talked about, things that we were not trained on, things that we should have received in our academic facilities, but unfortunately we didn't. But I'm always going to say it is never too late. And as long as I'm not giving up, I'm going to ask you equally, don't you give up. Stick and stay true to who you are, because there are solutions, there are resolutions, there are continuations, there are things that we can do to make sure that moving forward, that you have a financial life that is stable, that is independent, and that is free from all of these disturbances and all of these things that happen to keep popping up as we maneuver through, or as we have been maneuvering through our lives. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and jump into the subject matter, because this may have to be a two-part series, because this is lengthy, and I love it. I love it when they're lengthy, because it really allows for me to show my talent, my expertise in why you need to be following these types of shows, making sure that the individuals that you're talking to or listening to, make sure that they're well-versed in their subject matter, because if they're not, you might be taken for a ride. And here, I'm here to tell you, we don't play. We don't play. We are serious about our game. We are serious about about what we do, and we are serious about making sure that you, the consumer, you, that individual, gets exactly what you need, which is, as I said, stability. independence, and freedom. All right. So yeah, let's jump on into the subject matter. And we're going to be talking about today, is a debt collector harassing you? Know your rights and take actions. Is a debt collector harassing you? We want you to know your rights and take action, because if you do, you'll never have to worry about some of these disturbing things that have been going on and have been happening. And our job is to, again, make sure that you are well versed. I just had a client today, and he walked out of here with a big, huge monstrosity of a smile on his face, because we prepared him so well that no matter what he's getting ready to encounter, he's going to be able to navigate with no problem. So this is what we do. We first and foremost, we educate. We make sure that you are very well versed. Once we educate you, then we put you on that pathway to success, and then we hold you accountable, just like you should be holding us. We're looking for individuals who can stay consistent, because credit is a consistent battle of keeping it in that upwards trajectory. And as long as you can do that, you're going to be good. You're going to be good. Credit should not be these ebbs and flows. It should be an upwards trajectory. And today we're going to be talking about, as I said, debt collectors, collection agencies, a lot of these entities that believe that they can get over on you because they think that you're not very well prepared. They think that you're not smart. But I'm here to tell you, we are smart. All right. All right, so protect yourself from illegal debt collection practices. Know your rights under the FDCPA. So the FDCPA refers to the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act. Debt collection companies are legally required to follow that process when attempting to collect a debt, whether or not you actually owe the debt. Collectors cannot harass, threaten, or use deceptive tactics to pressure you into payment. If you have experienced harassment, intimidation, or any violations of your right under the FDCPA by any of these agencies listed, and there's a bunch of agencies. I'm talking about collections companies. I'm talking about law firms that have now decided, oh, you know what? Hey, we like to get into that space and get a little bit of extra revenue under our belts. There are a list that is unbelievable. And if you need that list, I'm not providing it here, but I will. If you want me to, I'll be more than happy to send it to you. So just email me and I'll be happy to send that list over to you. You may have the right to take legal actions and seek financial compensation for damages. And I'm always suggesting get that compensation, because what they're doing is illegal. You have to understand your rights. And if you don't understand your rights, I'm telling you, they know you don't understand it. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to keep taking advantage of you. All right, so understanding class actions. I wanted to talk about this first because with all of the egregious things that are going on out there, it's really overdue time for us as citizens to start looking at a larger action that we can take against these abusers, habitual abusers at that. All right, so legally, you can, under certain understandings and conditions, you can take out a class action lawsuit, your rights and your legal protections. A class action lawsuit is a powerful legal tool that allows multiple individuals with the same complaint. Remember, the same complaint. We're talking about the same things. And I can tell you about a lot of things: charge-offs, late payments, collections. These things you would not believe have ramifications, obviously, to you, but also we have to make sure that these individuals are doing what they're supposed to be doing in the manner in which they're supposed to. If we challenge these items and they're not removing them, due to whatever reasons that they're not removing them, that is a violation of your consumer rights. So that's why I'm saying the more people who get on board with this process, the more that they're going to probably be able to find that resolve that they're looking for and wipe the slates clean. Instead of each person pursuing separate cases, one lawsuit is filed on the behalf of all affected individuals, known as the class, and it ties in a single, or it's tried in a single court. Class actions often used in cases involving consumer fraud, deceptive products, data breaches, employment violations, and other widespread misconduct. And there's where it ties in other widespread misconduct. These lawsuits ensure that large companies and entities are held what? Accountable. And they're not being held accountable. They're not, because we, the citizens, unfortunately, do not understand our rights. And if you don't understand our rights or know your rights, guess what? You don't have those rights. So even when individuals' claims might be too small to pursue separately, well, the class action lawsuit would be the best thing. And it would probably more than likely get these individuals to stop. Separate suits don't work in the manner in which these class action lawsuits would have a huge impact. And one of the things that we should be mainly focusing on, so all you legal eagles out there, is making sure that these individuals cannot write off their legal actions. That's what emboldened them to keep doing what they're doing, because they get to turn around and write off their legal actions. Anytime you can write off a legal action, recoup what you recoup what you lost, how does that deter you? It doesn't deter you. It emboldens you to do even more. All right, so the legal framework for governing class action lawsuits in the United States are primarily governed by the Rule 23 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedures, which outlines the requirement for certifying a case as a class action. Additionally, state laws may apply depending on where the class is filed. To qualify as a class action, the class must meet certain criteria, including numerosity. So a large number of people must be affected. Trust me when I tell you, there's a large number of people being taken advantage of by our three major collection or credit reporting agencies, by a plethora of collection agencies, by equally a plethora of law firms who now have taken up that position to go after consumers unlawfully using the courts. As I said, I just had a client today who literally, I said, before we get this letter all done and finished, I need to know one thing before, because the biggest part of that was this item charged off. Guess what it was? It was charged off. He has way more standing, way more legs to stand on when he goes into the courts. Plus, we're hoping that the case itself just gets dismissed because of all of the reasons that we stated. I'm telling you, we are on point. And all I want to do is make sure the rest of you equally get on point. So, commonalities. The case must involve common legal and factual issues. Fact is the most important thing. Courts do not like individuals coming in there frivolously throwing things around. They want facts, and the facts that we can already attest. You sit down with us for a half an hour or an hour, we're going to be able to dig up some great information that would help you, whether, again, you want to do it separately. But I'm asking more individuals to really start thinking about a class action lawsuit. Let's really send a message to these individuals or to these conglomerate companies out there. No more. No more. The jig is up. All right. Typically, the claims of the lead plaintiff must be typical of the classes. Again, fraud is a typical understanding. Breach of contract is a typical understanding. Overstating your losses is a typical understanding. So we can go on and on and on and on and on and on. All right. And the legal plaintiff and legal term must fairly represent the interest of the class, which that's what we're here to do. But as I said, I wanted to talk about this first because what we're finding out is that there's a lot of situations that are all the same. And again, one-on-one. We need to grab these items together, find a law firm that really wants to do the job. And again, really wants to do the job. If you're looking for a payday, you can get a payday anywhere you want, law firm. But we need people who really want to do the job, and making sure that these credit reporting agencies, these collection companies, these other law firms And we're not here to settle. We came in this country in the 1400s, and we're not going to continue settling for something that we should not have to settle for. Sorry. So our team carefully evaluates each situation. We advise individuals when we believe a class action is the most effective legal pathway. We're not lawyers. We're not legal advocates. What we are, we're smart, intelligent, bright, wise, savvy individuals that will partner with law firms. There's a lot of things that law firms, and a lot of these law firms, general practitioners, so they may come from a different field or a different space, but I'm talking about something that literally helps you, because a lot of these law firms don't really have the expertise that we have when it comes to debt, when it comes to financial understandings. There's a lot of things that they do not and will not dive into, because why? Because they're thinking about settling. We don't think about settling. We think about sending a clear message to anyone out there abusing our consumer rights that this is not happening anymore. It's done and it's over with. All right. If you believe you have been wronged by a company alongside many others, you may have grounds to join or initiate a class action lawsuit. It's just that simple. You may. And the only way to find that out is to sit down with somebody who can walk you through. I'm not going to charge you anything, because that's not how we operate. We operate on, let's come together, let's sit down, let's see what we have. Once we know what we have, then let's orchestrate a plan as to how you're going to go about taking care of these legal matters. Again, I started off the conversation with stable, independent, and free. That's what you want to be. You want to be financially stable, financially independent, and financially free from all of these egregious overreaches that a lot of these companies are doing and are still getting away with using the courts to do it. All right, so credit report errors can be hurting you. How to fix them under the FCRA and the CFPB regulations. So what are these two entities? All right, top credit reporting errors that can hurt your score. Outdated information. Credit reporting agencies update their database at different times. If a report hasn't been refreshed, it may include old, inaccurate details that should no longer be legally reported. Again, important part that you have to always walk away with is legally. There are so many pieces and avenues that we don't understand because we haven't dove into that, meaning consumers haven't dove into that legal avenue, that legal space. Because why? Life gets in the way. So we too busy lifing when we should be, let me rephrase that. We should know individuals who can walk us through some of these things that might be overwhelming, might be too daunting, because life is in the way. And that's why it's best to know someone who knows someone. Know someone who knows someone that is a trusted and an authority in that space. I'm telling you, it's going to make life a lot easier. Clerical mistakes, simple errors like incorrect account labels or missing credit types, or common and can negatively impact your credit score. Ensure all loans and credit lines are accurately recorded. Mixed and merged accounts. Your credit file may be mistakenly combined with someone else's. My name is Tyrone Glover. I do not have a middle initial. So I know for a fact that if I see anything with a middle initial on my credit report, that's got to be challenged. We're not going to say dispute, but I'm going to keep bringing that word up, but it has to be challenged. You need to challenge things that are on that credit report that are not yours. That is a violation of your consumer rights. Right, often due to similar names or addresses. This can lead to an inaccurate account reporting. Identity theft. Fraudulent accounts opened in your name can be unnoticed until they damage your credit. Reviewing your credit report annually. Now, here's the kicker to that, and I think it's a great one. Hopefully, this new administration leaves it. You can get your credit report now from Annual Credit Report Weekly. So there's no reason to have to wait a whole year to get it or pay for joining a subscription type that's going to provide you with your credit report. But equally, you're paying for, as most of these companies do, they won't give you the score unless you pony up some money. But we don't work with the score, we work with the data, because if the data is incorrect, guess what's wrong? The score. All right, so reviewing your credit report, not annually, but you can review your credit report weekly, helps detect unauthorized activities and protect your financial reputation. Stay vigilant. Check your credit report regularly to catch and correct these errors before they affect your financial future. So, critical errors on background and credit reports that can ruin your life. When I was putting this together, I was like, whoa, scary stuff. So 2025 is now the time where we course correct and we get in front of these scary things. Stop letting them haunt you. Stop letting them go from year to year to year to year. And then you're in desperate need of when it's time to, again, buy that new car. And then you have to settle for a much higher interest rate, looking for that new home or looking for a new apartment. And then you're constantly finding that, oh, can't, or you're looking for that new credit product or that loan product. And then you're finding yourself can't, or you're finding yourself getting hit with much, much higher interest rates. There's no need. Let's clean house, folks. Let's do the things that we need to do. All right. So incorrect criminal background checks. These errors can be the most devastating, often caused by merged or mixed up records due to similar name and addresses. Back to that similar name as address. If you Google your name, Google it. Take 2 minutes, 3 minutes to Google your name and see how many names pop up. It's pretty, well, I'm not going to say it's a sad thing, but again, you got to think about it. We're 350 million people. Some of us may have the same name as somebody else out there, and you got to be vigilant. Outdated or incorrect criminal history can cost you job opportunities, housing, and even reputation. Credit reports say you are deceased, which I've had an individual who told me it took them forever to get that deceased removed, even though they were proving to the individuals or the court or whatever it was that classified this individual as being dead. If a creditor mistakenly reports you as deceased, or if your social security number is incorrectly flagged, you can be locked out of essential financial and personal services. This error can prevent you from opening bank accounts, reviewing your driver's license, securing health insurance, or even renting a home. So again, easy, simple things can happen from somebody else. And now that we have AI in the mix, again, got to be careful, got to be reviewing your stuff, got to be looking at the things that you need to be looking at. OFAC alerts, wrongly flagged as a threat. If your name mistakenly appears on the U.S. Treasury Special Designated National SDN list reserved for suspected terrorists, drug traffickers, and money launderers, it can destroy your ability to work, bank, or conduct business in the U.S. This error happens more often than you think. Now, come on. This error happens more often than you think. Check your stuff, people. Make sure that you are checking. 2025 is to make sure that you are cleaning house. Get that financial house in order. If any of these errors appear on your credit report, take immediate action. Call us. All right, call us. We're here to help you. We're here to navigate that space for you. Why? Because we're experts. All right, serious errors that can destroy your reputation and financial future. False criminal background checks. Errors in criminal background checks can be among the most damaging mistakes, and again, often caused by merged or mixed up records due to similar names or addresses. Again, similar names or addresses. These are the most common mistakes. Outdated information is also a frequent issue, leading to wrongful accusations that can cost you job opportunities, housing, and even personal relationships. Deceased on your credit report. Again, we just talked about it. Imagine applying for a loan, renewing your driver's license, or trying to rent an apartment, only to be told that you're legally dead. That would be alarming. This devastating error happens when a creditor mistakenly reports your account as belonging to a deceased individual, or when your social security number is incorrect, flagged as deceased. If this happens to you, it can effectively shut you out of daily life. So again, make sure you're checking your stuff. So wrongfully flagged on the OFAC watch list. All right, an OFAC, Office of Foreign Asset Control, alerts on your credit report can falsely associate you with a terrorist, or with terrorism, drug trafficking, or money laundering. This happens when your name incorrectly matches a person on the U.S. Treasury specially designed national. So that's the SDN list. Such an error can block you from opening a bank account, securing employment, or conducting business in the United States. If you've been wrongfully flagged, you need immediate assistance. Now, I'm hoping that nobody out there is being subjected to none of this, but it's good to know that when you start checking your stuff, this might be some of those things that might pop up on it. All right, act now, protect your rights. These errors can destroy your financial stability and personal freedom. If you've been affected, don't wait. Call us immediately. All right, for expert help in cleaning your name and restoring your records. Now, again, we can help you before you go to a law firm and start shelling out a whole bunch of money to them. We're going to always send you back to the law firm because that's our number one ethical understanding. We're not lawyers, but we're going to make sure that you can go into these law firms and you can ask the proper questions before you start giving someone your bread. That's the thing that I think a lot of us do incorrectly. We sit down with these companies, we sit down with these law firms, and they're telling us all of the great things that they're going to do. The next thing you know, we're coming out of pocket, shelling out. And then we get well, we did everything we could. No. Or we're settling for this amount. No, I don't think that's appropriate. I'm not going to tell lawyers what to do. That's between you and that legal professional that you ultimately sit down with. But I'm going to give you as much of the information so that you can, when you do sit down with these legal professionals, they're going to look at you and go, okay, you know what? We got a smart one here. And then if you choose to do business with them, hold them accountable to your success. Just that simple. So how to dispute credit report errors and protect your financial health. If you discover incorrect information on your credit report, you have the legal right under the Fair Credit Reporting Act to dispute and demand its removal. Now, I use the word dispute in this particular instance because I always like to go back to it and say, we're not disputing anything any longer, folks. We're challenging the validity of that information. Dispute basically means, if you look it up in a dictionary, it means that you did something incorrect. So that means you have to dispute it. But if you didn't do anything incorrect, you're already setting yourself up for failure by following that word. That's why I tell individuals as well, when you get those phone calls are asking you to speak to a specific person, you should always say, I am a blank blank. Like, for instance, if I got a phone call, I would say, I am a Tyrone. Because what are they doing? They're recording it for quality assurance and training purposes. And if you did have to go to court, you would actually ask them, could you please bring up that recording? And what did that recording say? It says that I am a Tyrone. So we're going to do our due diligence to make sure that you are up on everything that you need to do so that you can do what? So that you can win these cases, period. If it has to go that far, or getting the courts to dismiss them flat out before they even get to that point. So these are just quick little tidbits and steps of what you can do. All right, so here's steps to dispute, challenge credit reporting errors. Contact the credit bureaus. Start by reaching out to the credit reporting agencies, that issues the incorrect information. Most agencies provide an online dispute form. They're not using their online dispute form. Why? Because of the fact that it's limited in how many disputes you can put onto that form. So we're not using their forms. Type it out with ChatGPT, with DeepSeek, with Google has their own Gemini. Everybody's coming out with something that's AI related. And trust me when I tell you, AI businesses have been using it forever. We're just catching up. So nothing wrong with being on the same team. Now that they're using it, why not? Why shouldn't we? So that we don't use their online disputes, but you can also submit a written challenge letter to for stronger documentation. Yes, keeping copies. Sometimes when you do these online, they don't give you the opportunity or the option to print it out so you can have a copy for yourself. Provide supporting evidence. What I liked about the client that I have today, we were doing a charge off, looked inside his credit report. What did we find? Charge off. Loved it because now he had supporting documents to show that, hey, this company charged it off. So how are they coming back trying to get the exact same amount? That charge off, please. So we're going to have to do a show on that one. That is something that's quite impressive. So having supporting documents is always a plus. Keep a paper trail. Don't just give your stuff to anyone. Keep a paper trail. Make sure that whatever you send out, you are keeping a copy for yourself as well. Maintain copies of all dispute-related documents, including your dispute letters and any responses received via certified. So send everything via certified. Make sure that, again, you're sending it out. You want somebody signing for it. Signing for it. Once that receipt comes back to you, you file it with your information that you sent already out, keeping a detail. Because if this does happen to go to court, the courts don't want you coming in there with feelings. They want you to come in there with facts. And if you have enough information to put down there and go boom, 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 you're going to walk out there and win it. You're going to look at that law firm or that collection company. You're going to look them right in the face and say, what was you thinking? Did you think I was stupid? Because unfortunately, that's what they think. Sorry to have to say it like that, but that's what they think. Track all communications. Record the dates, the names, and details of any phone calls or emails exchanged with the credit bureaus. You probably won't do a lot of emails, but again, track your stuff. Remember these 5 items. Contact the credit bureaus. Provide supporting evidence. Keep a paper trail. Send everything via certified mail and track all your communiques. What happens next? Once your dispute is submitted, the credit reporting agencies have 30 days to investigate, and they can get an additional 15. That makes it about 45 days to verify any errors. If the incorrect information is not removed, you may have additional legal options to escalate the dispute. You like that, right? Yes. But you got to stay consistent on it. You got to follow through because, as I said, they're using that AI stuff, and that AI stuff is going to do what it needs to do, regardless of whether you do what you need to do. All right. So why it matters. Credit reporting errors can lower your credit score, affecting your ability to secure loans, mortgages, and even job opportunities. Protecting your financial reputation starts with knowing your rights and taking immediate actions to correct inaccuracies. That's on you, folks. They're not going to do it. They're going to leave that up to you to do. And if you do your part, guess what? You hold them accountable. So the hidden price of credit report errors. How one mistake can cost you big. Credit reporting errors are more common than you think. And even a small mistake can go unnoticed or be ignored. But what seems insignificant today could lead to a denied loan, higher interest rate, or lost financial opportunity. Understanding your credit report and knowing how to dispute errors is critical to protecting your financial future. Don't let a mere error turn into a major setback. Take action. The power of credit scores, why it matters and how errors can hurt you. Your credit score is more than just a number. It's a key factor that impacts your financial future. Lenders, banks, and credit card companies use it to access your reliability in repaying debt, influencing everything from loans approval to interest rates. The most commonly used credit score is your FICO score. There is another score out there that's called the Vantage score, which ranges from 350 to 850. Both of them range in that same category, with higher scores signaling lower risk to lenders. However, error in your credit report can unfairly damage your score, potentially costing you opportunities for better financial terms. Understanding your credit score and ensuring the accuracy of your credit report are critical steps towards securing financial stability and maximizing your borrowing potential. Great information. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. So credit report errors could cost you thousands. And here's why. A single mistake on your credit report can significantly lower your credit score, leading to severe financial consequences. Even a minor inaccuracy can cost you thousands over time. Here's how. Skyrocketing credit card interest rates. Okay, you have one late payment that wasn't a late payment. You have a collections item that wasn't a collection item. You have a charge-off item. There are so many things that could affect your credit. And if you're not checking on a regular basis, guess what happens? There we are. That's the result. Thousands of dollars that you could be missing out on. Increased home and auto insurance premiums. Yes, they're using your credit now to determine whether or not you qualify for home or insurance. And we could talk about California, and I don't want to talk about California, but those insurance companies that are denying these individuals their rights to be able to collect because of a natural disaster, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. That's a definite class action lawsuit right there. But let's keep it moving. All right. Costlier mortgage rates. A lower credit score can add tens of thousands to your home loan. Risk to your U.S. government clearance. Yeah, not having or having items on your credit report that are not yours could ultimately cost you your job. Expensive private student loans. Higher interest rates can make education far more costly. Missed career opportunities. Some employers check credit before hiring. Now, we know that that's not supposed to happen. That was part of the Obama administration where they removed that understanding. But guess what? The employers still keep that question on the application. So if you omit it and you don't get the job, there's the reason why. And if you add it and they do use it, that could also be another reason why you're not getting those callbacks. All right, so loan credit denials, inaccuracies can prevent you from getting approved when you need it most. Don't let credit report errors cost you thousands. Regularly check your report, dispute inaccuracies, or as we like to say, challenge the validity of these inaccuracies and protect your financial future. Beware of credit report scams. Protect yourself from fraudulent promises. That's another one that's out there. A lot of people who do what I do, they try to sell you things that are not true. So many companies take advantage of consumers struggling with poor credit, preying on their to ensure a home, car, or job. When credit issues stand in the way, the promise of a quick fix from a credit repair company can seem tempting, but it's often too good to be true. And I'm sure you've heard that before. Consumers must exercise extreme caution when dealing with credit repair services. One thing I have to say about the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they are coming down hard on the big ones and they're coming down hard on the small ones. So please make sure that you understand the new rules that are out there if you are offering this type of service. Right? As many engage in deceptive practices that could lead them in an even worse financial position. Know the warning signs and protect yourself from scams. Right, so here's some of the warning signs for credit repair scams. Protect yourself from fraud. Be cautious of credit repair companies that use deceptive tactics to take advantage of consumers. Here are a few of those flags. Now, I like to say you can't repair credit. You can't even fix credit. Now, what you can do is you can recover from credit-related harms that may have prevented you from. You see how the smart people, the wise, the savvy, those who have spent oodles and oodles and oodles of time really honing in on how do we best help. Well, verbiage is one of the best things that I can tell you. So we're not disputing, we're challenging the validity, making sure. So make sure, again, that you understand those red flags, all right? Promise of a new credit identity or a fresh start. No legitimate company can erase your credit history. I saw something on YouTube, I think it was either YouTube or Instagram somewhere. Well, I can show you how to get rid of your old identity and get a new one. Red flag, don't do things like that. Please do not. Do not. You're one person. You do not need to find yourself in a situation where, I'm just going to do this for a quick minute. No. That quick minute will come back to bite you. All right, upfront payment before services are provided. This is new. This is where the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, are catching other individuals in this particular space here. So be careful when it comes to that. It's illegal for credit repair companies to charge fees before completing services. All right, got to be careful. Whoever's in this space, understand that one right there. Upfront, can't charge people upfront. All right. Blocking direct contact with credit bureaus. A trustworthy company will never discourage you from checking or disputing your own credit report. You would be surprised what I went through about 8 years ago. Yes, it was a company that I was working for who did some of the most egregious things. And what did I have to do? I had to separate from those companies because of the fact that they were not doing ethical understanding of how you take care of consumers. Having a consumer not pay their bills so they can go into default and then you try to fight it legally, that doesn't make any sense. That's big time fraud. Big time fraud. So be careful. Be careful. Disputing accurate information on your credit report. Companies that push false disputes may be engaging in fraud, which can have legal consequences. So if it doesn't sound right, don't do it. Get with somebody who understands what they're doing and make sure, again, you do your own homework as well. Don't just believe everything coming out of my pile, but I'm good. I'm good. Encouraging you to lie on credit applications. Please, ladies and gentlemen, again, no need. Providing false information is illegal and could result in fines and criminal charges. Failure to explain your legal rights. Legitimate companies must inform you of your rights under the what? Credit Repair Organization Act, CROA. All right, suggesting you use a CPN or a EIN instead of your social security number. Using a credit privacy number or a employee identification number is to misrepresent your legal identity is fraud. So please don't do it. All right. To ensure any of these warning signs, steer clear and report the companies to the whom? CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protections Bureau, and the Federal Trade Commission, or your attorney general in your state. Protect your financial future by working with reputable professionals and take legal steps to improve your credit. There is no quick fix. Now, there are other avenues that you can go down. They're not quick fixes, but what they do is, what they do is they help you with making sure that you can get back on track using other methods. And one of the methods that I'm very, very, very well versed in is trade lines. And we'll talk about trade lines in an upcoming show because that was something that was put out there for us to do. And since I already had this on mind, trade lines is going to be definitely coming up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So mark it down on your calendar. All right, mark it down on your calendar. All right, so An employee identification number, EIN, is issued by the IRS for business purposes. Obtaining an EIN under false pretenses is a federal crime. Okay? Don't do it. It's not worth it. Beware of credit repair scams that may pressure you to change your social security number. Some even provide stolen social security numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, come on now. Really? It's almost insulting for me to have to read it to you, but this is what's going on out there. And you got to be aware before you find yourself getting caught up because you find yourself in a challenging financial situation that all it's going to need is time. That's it. It took you time to get into it, so it's going to take you time to get out of it. But it's probably going to be a lot faster than it did to get you into it. So again, protect yourself. Know the risks before taking any actions. Your credit has a legal case if debt collectors break the laws. Take actions now. All right, they do. If you're facing harassment from a debt collector or receiving robocalls, whether you owe the debt or not, you may have a strong case. Our team of expert consumer protection advocates is here to help. So we can help you stop harassments, hold debt collectors accountable for illegal practices, get a free credit evaluation. A free credit evaluation will walk you through how you can make sure that everything on that credit report is you. And those things that are not, how you get them off of without compromising your integrity and holding the companies accountable. We have a proven track record with over 20 years expertise. We fight aggressively to protect your rights and restore your credit. Just that simple. We fight. We don't give in. We don't give up. We do not stop until the success that you want has been achieved. And I know sometimes we get off track because, again, life starts lifing. But you hold us accountable. We hold you accountable. Make sure, again, I tell everybody, my calendar is the lifeblood of how this operation works. And if you can't follow our basic rule of putting things on the calendar, it's going to be very challenging for us to assist you. And you can put as many dates as you want, because guess where I'm going to be if you have that date on the calendar? I'm going to be right here waiting for you. But I really suggest and impress upon everyone, make sure if you're going to do business with us, that you hold us accountable, because guess what? We're going to be holding you accountable. To whose success? Your success. All right, so don't let debt collectors violate your rights. Take actions now and reclaim your peace of mind. Know your rights, what debt collectors can and cannot do. Your rights are safeguarded under the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, which sets strict limits on what debt collectors and creditors can legally do when attempting to collect money from you. You are protected from harassment, false threats, and unfair practices. Trust me when I tell you, those unfair practices are running rampant now. A lot of the harassment has calmed down, some due to laws that prevents them from doing certain things. False threats have equally calmed down to some degree, but this unfair practice has ramped up tremendously. So please, again, be careful out there. Debt collectors must follow the law. If they do not, you have the power to take action. This is why I wanted to start off with that class action part first, because when you start doing what I'm asking you to do, there's going to be hundreds of you. There might even be thousands of you that are going to say, hey, you know what? I need to call that Tyrone guy. I need to reach out to somebody who can start compiling a list of individuals who can do a class action. And I'm, again, talking to you legal eagles out there. We're going to be coming down. We're going to be coming your way. And I'm hoping that you understand what we are asking of you. Keep it above board. Make sure you're doing exactly what we ask you to do. And there will be no settlement. These companies that habitually abuse, why should we keep giving them more opportunities to abuse? If not writing it off can put them out of business, then let's do it. Let's put them out of business, because they have been obviously taking advantage of us by using the courts to do what? Manipulate, create fraudulent cases that we, the consumers, are not prepared to handle. And then we go out and we reach out to a law firm, and that law firm is cozy with the other law firm because what? They all went to law school. Got to be careful. Got to be smarter. All right. So debt collectors must follow the law. Know your rights. Stand up against illegal collection tactics and hold violators accountable. That's what we do. So, unlawful debt collection practices. Know your right and protect yourself. Debt collectors must follow the law when attempting to collect debt. They are prohibited from engaging in harassment, oppression, or abuse against you or any third party they contact. So, debt collectors cannot threaten violence or harm. They cannot publicly shame consumers by publishing lists of those who owe. They cannot use obscene, profane, or abusive language. They cannot repeatedly call to annoy, harass, or intimidate. They cannot call before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m. without permission. All right? Know those basic things. Understand your rights can help you take action against unlawful collection practices. If you experience any of these violations, you have a legal option to protect yourself. That's it. Protect yourself from false statement by debt collectors. Debt collectors are legally prohibited from using false or misleading statements to pursue you into paying a debt. If a collector engages in deceptive practices, they are violating your rights. And here are some examples of what they cannot do. Falsely claim to be an attorney or a government representative. They cannot imply that you have committed a crime when you have not. They cannot misrepresent themselves, their affiliations with a credit bureau. They cannot lie about the actual monies you owe. They cannot deceive you about the nature of documents, such as pretending legal papers are not official forms. All right. They cannot threaten arrest for non-payment. Failure to pay a debt is not a criminal offense. All right. If you experience any of these tactics, know that you have rights. That's the beauty of this whole conversation right here. You know you have rights. Make sure you use them and you exercise them. All right. Debt collectors are prohibited from using deceptive, unfair, or unlawful tactics when attempting to collect a debt. They cannot. This is beautiful. I love each one of these are telling you what individual entities cannot do. All right. They cannot threaten to seize, garnish, attach, or sell your property or wages unless they have the legal authority and actual intent to follow through. So a lot of them will say whatever they need to say, but again, know your rights. Someone's threatening you like some individuals have already done in this administration. Again, know your rights. Know your rights. Falsely claim that legal action such as a lawsuit is imminent when they have no intent or legal grounds to pursue it. A lot of these companies are doing it. They're doing it under the osmosis of charge off, write off, and then using the courts because the courts may or may not know. Some of these judges may or may not know, but we're finding out that they don't know. And they're putting consumers in harm's way. Provide false or misleading credit information about you to anyone, including credit bureaus. What do you think they're doing to your credit report when they falsely put something on there? All right, that's a legal action. They have violated your right. Send documents designed to appear as official court or government notice when they are not legitimate. Use a fake name or misrepresent their identities in any attempt to collect a debt. If you experience any of these tactics, you have legal grounds to challenge these actions and protect your rights. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting closer to that time frame. If anybody out there has a question, we're about 9 minutes out, but if anybody has a question that they want to pose, You have the Facebook area to put a question in if you would like to. You have the YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube. You have the StreamYard if you're watching us on StreamYard. You know, Soul City is out there. It is on so many platforms, and I am so grateful to be part of this wonderful organization and what we're doing to make sure that individuals of color have what they need. We're protecting all individuals, but we are definitely going to take care of our community. So shield yourself from unfair debt collection tactics. Know your rights. That's all we're asking you. Know your rights. Know your rights. You are unfamiliar with your rights. All you have to do is ask me. I'll be more than happy to email this over to you so that you can have a copy of this PowerPoint. And if you want a copy of this PowerPoint, please, again, just send me an email and I'd be more than happy to send it over to you. But again, shield yourself from unfair debt collection tactics. Know your right. Debt collectors must follow the law. They cannot use deceptive intimidation or illegal tactics to pressure you into paying. Protect yourself by understanding what they cannot do. Okay? Demand more than you owe. They can't do that unless explicitly allowed by state law, which is not going to happen. Cash a post-dated check earlier or trick you into paying for collection calls or telegrams. Can't do it. Threaten to seize your property unless they have legal authority, which they don't and will not get. Unless you do something that's called adverse inference. Adverse inference, by ignoring something that comes from the courts, could have a significant ramifications on how that legal process or proceedings will go. So please do not do that. Do not ignore anything that might be coming from the courts, or if you're unfamiliar, don't be afraid. It comes from Westchester, it comes from Detroit, it comes from Michigan, it comes from wherever. Don't be afraid to address these items. I'm giving you full permission to reach out to me, because I'd rather help you than find you in a situation where it's now garnishing or putting your family at risk. And I've done it before, for free. I've done it before. COVID, I took literally those 2 and actually 3 years, and I helped people out. I just helped. I understood the financial situations were not ideal for many. So what did I do? Don't worry. I got you. The good man upstairs always makes a way for me, and he's always done that. And as long as I keep doing what I'm doing to make sure that those who are in need can get the services that they need, I'm going to keep doing it. And now that we're a nonprofit organization, that just gives us more of an opportunity to help even more people. All right. Expose your financial matter by contacting you through postcards. No, can't do it. Knowledge is power. Stay informed, recognize unfair collection practices, and stand up for your rights. It's not that hard. It's actually very, 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 very easy. So this will be my last slide before I wrap this up and then get to the thank yous and the appreciations. So, can debt collectors legally use auto dialers or robocalls to contact your cell phone? Know your rights. TCPA. Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Again, cell phone people. How many of us have what is that called again? A landline. All right. Was enacted in 1991 to protect consumers from unwanted auto calls. Implemented by the Federal Communications Commission, FCC. In 1992, this law restricts debt collectors and creditors from making pre-recorded, automated, or auto dial calls to your cell phone without your explicit consent. You're getting a lot of those, huh? Aren't you? Yes, because I get them. Not saying I'm getting them all the time per se, but I do see these scam numbers popping up. And I'm glad, thank you, Apple, for identifying what is an actual number and what is could potentially be a scam. If a debt collector contacts you using robocalls or auto dial without your permission, you may have legal grounds to sue for damages. Under the TCPA, violators can face statutory penalties ranging from $500 to $1,500 per illegal call. So understand your rights can help you take actions against harassment. If you're receiving unauthorized robocalls from debt collectors, you may be entitled to financial compensation. So again, if you started compiling and say you shared this with one of your friends and they shared it with another one of their friends and they shared it with another one of their friends, can you imagine the amount of people that we could easily put together in a class action lawsuit? All we got to do is do our part first. Gather the information, make sure that we are all within that same commonality. And we're going to find common ground. Trust me when I tell you, we're going to find what we need to find. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 3 minutes out. And with that time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you know that this is going to be a two-series show. 2 series talking about this debt collection and what you can do to make sure that you're not being placed in harm's way. All right, so how to get in contact with us. Leverage Credit Recovery. Let's stay connected. Let's do the things that we need to do to stay connected. So one way to stay connected is using our website, which right now we're in the process of building out 3 new websites. They'll be coming soon. But right now we're using our link tree. So that is Linktree, linktr.ee/leverage credit recovery. If you want any one of these PowerPoint presentations, leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. If you want any of these PowerPoints, the ones from tonight's show, the ones from previous shows, I do not mind handing them out, giving you the tools and the resources too. Also, equally, if you're someone who is like me, who wants to help make sure that their family members and everybody else is doing what they need to be doing, please, I'm more than happy to give you these PowerPoints. And obviously, free of charge. Or just send me a text or call me up, 805-428-9424. Once again, that is 805-428-9424. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a brand new year. We have now entered into Black History Month. Regardless of what this administration is talking about with DEI and all of the other egregious, horrible, deplorable things that this administration is talking about, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do what we need to do. And one of the things that we need to do is make sure that we are financially stable. We got oligarchs in the White House, folks. We got individuals who are all about their bottom line in the White House. And I do hope that Democrats and also equally Republicans understand the egregious overreaches that this administration in just the first, 19 days, 20 days? I mean, really? But nevertheless, no matter what they do, we do not get mad. We do not get upset. We do not fall into that rabbit hole of let's become even more divided. They're going to do too much. They're going to do too much. And when they do too much, we need to be there to make sure that we are there to tell them, told you. Now, let's go ahead and get back on track. Let's do the things that we need to do first. And that is become, as I said when I started, independent, stable, and free. Independent, stable, and free. I want to thank you for your attention. I want to thank you for making time. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, be safe, America.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.